How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So, the Xbox event, right? The big business update, the end of Xbox as we know it, finally happened this Thursday. And it was short, like about 22 minutes. And they pretty much dispelled all the rumors, right? It was Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, and Sarah Bond. Of course, Phil, CEO of Xbox. Sarah is the president, and Matt Booty is like president of it's like game creation. They're all like the big players when it comes to Xbox, right? And the three of them had a little like sit down kind of where they were interviewed, right? And yeah, all those rumors about the end, like yeah, they were all wrong. I admit it, right? We all got played. We bought into it. It definitely shows like don't believe everything you see on the internet. But yeah, so they straight up, like, literally in the first 5 minutes answer, is Starfield or Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation? Flat out no. Phil makes that very clear. He's like, no, those are not two games. And it's something like essentially it's like that's what they've said from the beginning in the sense of it's case by case, right? If games will go multi-plat or not. And they do mention that 4 titles, which are not named, but apparently rumors kind of are like people already know what they are. 4 games that are not, they're all like new franchises. So that rumor about Gears of War, Halo, like Xbox exclusive titles moving over, all wrong because they specifically mention titles that are new, 2 big ones, 2 smaller ones, and 2 that are like live service are going over, and it's like they're new IPs, so they could do more with them. Like, or for the smaller titles, it's like um, they've pretty much reached their potential on Xbox, so it's like, why not make more money? I mean, they're still published or by Xbox, so they get a 30% cut, right, from wherever else it'll release. They didn't say that specifically, but that's like the truth. Like publishers take 30%. So the 4 speculated titles, which again it said so not established franchises. So Halo, they're staying Xbox exclusive, so we're safe, guys. Um, the 4 speculated ones are Hi-Fi Rush, which is like one of the big 2, right? Which I'm like, yeah, that game makes sense. Like, it was a huge hit for Xbox. Would have been nice to keep it exclusive, sure, because it was like a sleeper that everyone was like, oh, that's actually a great game. But hey, coming on the Switch and PlayStation, why not? I mean, Tango Gameworks really deserved it, right? It's a great game. It was shadow dropped, so it's exciting. So that one. Our second big game is Sea of Thieves, which was already like the first game speculated to go multi-platform. Which Sea of Thieves fits also the second big title, and it's a live service, so it's 2 in 1, right? That one makes sense. I definitely could see it going, Nintendo and PlayStation, which is crazy to think that it's a rare game, so it'll be the first time a rare game that isn't a re-release of N64 one will be on Nintendo console, like the Switch potentially, and like how long? Ever since Microsoft bought them. So that's cool. And the smaller 2 are Pentiment. I don't know much about it. And Grounded, which again, smaller title and live service. So those are the 4 speculated, which honestly make the most sense. Yeah, so in that aspect, it's just those 4 titles. And they do just talk about what Xbox, like what their goal is, and when they say like reach as many players as possible, it's like, yeah, they already are the most broad platform. It's funny because I think the same day as this showcase, or like the day before, PlayStation had confirmed, or like yeah, it was brought up that they're gonna start putting their games more on PC, essentially playing catch up to Xbox, where day one they do it, right? Where, yeah, and it made sense because if you think about it, Xbox has, of course, their consoles, like their hardware to play, um, Yeah, their hardware, PC. Of course, you can cloud like streaming on mobile devices. So if you think about that, like Xbox literally has mobile, the cloud, which you could argue are like two like the same console and PC, whereas most others are like just the console itself. And maybe like in PlayStation's case, as of late, a PC release, but like years later, they're finally realizing like, oh shit. I mean, Xbox is literally the most open, so has the highest potential for growth. Not necessarily in the hardware, like owning an Xbox console, just being in the ecosystem, right? And that's their whole thing. And they also mentioned that Gamepass is an Xbox only thing, so that whole rumor that they want to put it on every other console also false. Now, do I still believe that's their ultimate end goal? Probably. But again, if you look at just infrastructure of like internet, a lot of places, well, just around the world or even in the countries are, more rural, and we don't have the like fiber optic internet everywhere. That's like we're too early. Again, give it like 30 years, probably then it's possible. But at that point, it had to be up to, well, Nintendo or PlayStation to even allow that, right? For Game Pass to be so on their thing. They do just talk about that Xbox biggest, like, biggest I guess reason for people to switch over, or their focus, sorry. Game Pass, of course. Even games that come multi-plat like Call of Duty, where you would pay $70 or whatever a new title costs elsewhere, Game Pass, you get it for your monthly fee. So that's always like the selling point for Xbox, is like you can get it cheaper, right? I mean, when you're backed by literally the largest company in the world, what, their market cap went up to 3 trillion. I mean, yeah, you can afford the loss. Um, but yeah, so it was just good. Hardware side, they're not giving up on that either. They reassured that obviously they've talked about that rumored like mid gen, sorry, refresh coming this year, and they did say to wait for an announcement holiday. So the rumors of like it was like a all digital Series X, if I'm not wrong, a little weaker, I think, or like some components. Well, the slim models, right, like in PlayStation's case, are usually always that like a little cheaply made, and they're cheaper. So this one's all digital. I believe it does have double the storage though, 2 terabytes. It was rumored. But yeah, they talk about that, like that's coming. The most exciting thing was that for next gen, because they were like, they brought up that like, why should someone invest in Xbox as in the hardware if they are the most open? Like, why not just play, cloud or on PC? They do say that they want the hardware to be like the seminal, like this is like what the obviously the games are spec towards, and it's like the best way to play is on the hardware. And that for next generation, which if we go by the 7 or 8 year average, 2027, 2028, unless they go the full decade to 2030, they do talk about they want the next gen to be the largest leap in like in the largest leap forward to technologically. So it would be like, yeah, a really advanced console at that point, probably pricey too, but that was exciting to hear. Like like them stressing that yes, we want it to be the largest leap ever seen. So it's like, wow. I mean, you look at their history with like the original and the powerhouse that it was. 360, they were about even, and then the Xbox One was slightly under. Of course, with the series, they're neck and neck with the PS5, right? They're both better in some aspects. Um, yeah, it's exciting to hear that like next gen is gonna be like a huge jump, and it was reassuring just to know that they're not giving up on the hardware. And they do talk a little bit about game preservation, like backwards compatibility. And they all they really say about that is that they would like to like continue to try. it's a little more tricky because they talk about like each gen. I think it's like it's a little like games are more built like specifically for a console, and to you have to balance like wanting to, I believe it was like have a large leap forward, right? Like graphically all that, or have access to the past. Yeah, they just said like they would still like to. I do know like with licensing and that does make it harder because you have to get these companies to agree for their game to be backwards compatible. So it's not easy, but I respect Xbox for trying it, right? For at least like doing that. Whereas everyone else seems to not really care. But ultimately, guys, the conference was just, yeah, dispelling the rumors like, hey, Xbox is, again, the most widely available ecosystem, which they really are when you look at it. And, you know, they're just focused on great games. They do tease or hype up that they got like 10 huge titles, I believe, for this year coming, like Hellblade, like some we know, Forza, right? But then others that they do just tease, wait for the June showcase, which just for me, please, it's software. Can we finally get that Quake reveal, right? Or whatever, even if it's a Doom, another Doom, but it's Quake. Like, hopefully that game comes out, or it gets revealed, I should say. And yeah, it's just an exciting time to be an Xbox fan, and to all of us out there, right? We're in good hands, so for the time being, nothing to worry about. And yeah, don't believe all the rumors on the internet. But yeah, guys, that's it. You can watch the video for yourself. Obviously, it explains it better than I could, but it's exciting nonetheless to be a fan. And yeah, I can't wait for the future. But yeah, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of content, I try to make a video once a week. Maybe sometimes twice. We'll see. But yeah, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.